The Dark Truth: How the Royal Family Makes Their Money. Queen Elizabeth II had a sizable net worth when she died on September 8, 2022. For years, people have wondered how the royal family makes their money. They are frequently fueled by events such as the announcement of Prince Harry and Meghan Markle's official departure from the firm. Furthermore, the royal family's salaries were last in the news in November 2019 when unconfirmed reports claimed that Prince Andrew, Queen Elizabeth's second youngest son, would forego his annual payment of around $300,000 after stepping back from public duties for the foreseeable future amid a cloud of scandal. So, what are the royal family's salaries? How do they get them? And where do they get their money? What was the Queen's net worth before her death? Here's what we know, including how much these funds cost the average English taxpayer. Many people wonder, how much does Britain pay the royal family? The answer, like most things related to the royals, is complicated. The royal family is paid with a combination of public and private funds, on top of inherited wealth, a substantial real estate portfolio, and other assets. Prior to her death, the majority of Queen Elizabeth II's family's annual income and expenses were paid by three sources: the public sovereign grant and the private duchies of Cornwall and Lancaster. Then there's the sovereign grant. Since 2012, the monarch's official duties and the costs of maintaining the occupied palaces have been covered by the sovereign grant, a government-administered annual lump sum. According to the official website of the British monarchy, funding for the sovereign grant comes from a percentage of Crown Estate revenue profits. According to CNN Money, the Crown Estate is a collective of UK properties and farms that generate hundreds of millions of pounds each year. George III first surrendered these lands in 1760 to be managed by the Treasury in the future. The Crown Estate technically belongs to the reigning monarch, but as their site clarifies, it is not the private property of the monarch. It cannot be sold by the monarch, nor do revenues from it belong to the monarch. It's presently overseen by an independent organisations board. The total sovereign grant amount for the fiscal year 2018 to 2019 was £82.2 million. That is nearly 106 million in US dollars. However, neither the Queen nor her family received that sum. £32.9 million were allotted for resurfacing of Buckingham Palace, which also covered the royal family's duty-related travel expenses, payroll, other staff costs, and literally keeping the lights on. The civil list and 3 grants in aid for travel, communications, and palace maintenance were replaced by the sovereign grant. The civil list was an annual amount given to the Queen by the government to cover her duties as head of state and head of the Commonwealth, as well as grants in aid from government departments that previously paid for royal duty-related travel and upkeep of royal residencies, until it was abolished in 2012. Then there's the Privy Purse and the Duchy of Lancaster. If the sovereign grant is a sort of expense account, the Privy Purse is the monarch's actual income. The monarch's income comes from the Duchy of Lancaster, a portfolio of land, property and assets held in trust for the reigning monarch. The Privy Purse received nearly $26 million in income from the Duchy of Lancaster in 2018. While the monarch uses some of this money to cover extra expenses, Elizabeth used some of it to pay her children, Prince Andrew, Prince Edward and Prince Anne, a salary for their extensive schedule of royal engagements around the world. When Prince Andrew retired from public life in 2019, it was unclear whether he was still receiving funds from his mother, the Queen. Then there's the Duchy of Cornwall. The private estate, which was founded in 1137, funds the public, charitable and private activities of the Prince of Wales and his family, according to its website. It consists of land and properties in 23 English counties, as well as an investment portfolio. According to CNN Money, when Charles was Prince of Wales, he and his wife Camilla Parker Bowles received 90% of their income from the Duchy of Cornwall. He paid Prince William and Kate Middleton, and previously Prince Harry and Meghan Markle, from the Duchy of Cornwall's revenue surplus. The Duchy of Lancaster pays his siblings Princess Anne, Prince Andrew, and Prince Edward. During the 2019 to 2020 fiscal year, Charles and Camilla received approximately $30 million in income from the Duchy of Cornwall, as well as nearly $2 million in funding from the sovereign grant allotted to subsidise their official royal activities. Their annual review states, the majority of staff and official charitable work, including the official offices of the Duke and Duchess of Cambridge and the Duke and Duchess of Sussex activity, are paid for from His Royal Highness's private income from the Duchy of Cornwall. During the fiscal year 2018 to 2019, Charles and Camilla participated in 638 social engagements in 14 countries. They undertook 580 engagements in the UK and abroad between 2019 and 2020. So, does the monarch have to pay taxes? Since 1992, the Queen has voluntarily paid income and capital gains tax. Any income received from the Duchy of Lancaster that does not go to official expenses has also been taxed. She was subject to VAT and voluntarily paid local taxes. So, how much does paying the royals cost British taxpayers? To be honest, not much, at least not collectively. According to Fast Company, the average British taxpayer paid about 65 pence per year in 2018, so less than £1. Even though the cost has risen by 41% in 2019, according to Business Insider, the average taxpayer still pays a cup of coffee.